Yo, what is up, everyone? Hi, it is I, DPX. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. DPX Talks for about an hour. It's been a while. I skipped last month. I never felt... it was kind of like towards the end of the month where I realized, like, oh shit, I haven't done an episode yet. I'm doing two in September anyways. So yeah, I'll have this one and I'll have a normal one. But today, it's all Cobra Kai. New season dropped, and I was stoked, and yeah, hi ML, we'll introduce you in a sec.
I was just saying hi to the people.
Yeah, well, I was stoked. Weirdly enough, the wait between Season 3 and Season 4 was longer than the wait between Season 4 and Season 5. Which is weird, honestly. Considering Season 3 and 4 both came out in the same year. But anyways, yeah, we're here to talk Cobra Kai Season 5 spoilers. If you have not seen it, I don't know why you clicked on this video.
Get the fuck out.
Unless you wanna come and drop a like. I appreciate that.
And deuce.
Anyways, but yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. Or if you haven't even seen Season 1, go fucking watch the whole thing. It's an easy binge. Come back, listen to this. Today I am joined by ML.
Hey guys, what's going on?
And I'm... Yeah, we're doing this at night, so if you hear some crickets in the back, that's why. And...
Oh, we're really boring.
Shut the fuck up. And, and we are also joined by, Gus. How you doing, Gus?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm good. Glad to be here. Excited to talk about some Cobra Kai.
Yeah. So, what we're gonna do, we'll talk about spoilers, and we'll talk about, like, what we think, where we think the show is going, because I think that's a very interesting topic, just based on how this season ended. First I want all of us to give our thoughts on the season as a whole. I made a review, and it had spoilers in it, but obviously it didn't have everything. Like, that video is fucking longer originally, but I cut some stuff out because there's like so much to talk about. Pretty much, this is one of the most unfocused and uneven seasons, but also one of the most satisfying. You have certain arcs that get concluded that were running for the whole series, like the Robbie, Miguel, and Johnny stuff. Like, finally we get like an end to that in this season, and it's satisfying. And it concludes in probably my favorite finale. Uneven, some things are rushed, and we'll talk about that, but I think this is a very satisfying season and further cements more why I love the show so much. ML, thoughts on the season as a whole?
I thought the season was like really well done. I agree. I feel some stuff was rushed, especially was in the beginning, like the whole Mexico part of it. Yeah. I felt that could, they could have done something better with that. I feel like the whole plot with like the dad, that's like, I feel like that was just like, yeah, I felt like very rushed, like, last minute, like, okay, this is the beginning, now we're moving on to the stuff, that people want to see, whatever. But I did like, the satisfying conclusion of Robbie and Miguel, especially when it cuts to like a flashback to the finale of season 2, where Miguel almost like pushes off Robbie. That part was like amazing, like the whole
Yeah.
I forgot, I don't know the word, but like the similarities, or like how they mirror it there.
We'll get more into that fight later on, but yeah. Did I cut you off, or?
Also, I feel like this is one of the best things of like this season.
Yeah. And Gus, what are your thoughts on the season as a whole?
I had a really fun time with this one. I think this might have been the fastest season I probably watched, as in like
Same.
probably finished. So I will say that every episode ended on such a good cliffhanger. Which, if you can just have one episode, multiple episodes end on cliffhangers, that's how you know how you have a really good season. But at the same time, I also do agree that some parts felt either not necessarily messy, but either rushed or okay, we're kind of on this idea for so long. Why are we here? Definitely with Mexico as well. Like that was just only 2 episodes. I thought that'd be at least 4, maybe even half the season,
Yeah.
5 episodes. But I still like what we got, and I think it actually, since they filmed season 4 and 5 together, I think it flows very well as a continuation from season 4.
Yeah.
So I actually do like that aspect of it. But I do agree that there are some parts that seem a bit unfocused at times. But I did have a really fun time with the season. That's definitely in my top 3.
I think while you sort of mentioned it, I think the first thing we'll talk about, since it's kind of like the first thing that this season focuses on, is the ML. Everything good there?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of noise that keeps cutting in and out from you, but
I'm fine.
okay. Well, the first thing we'll talk about, I guess, will be the Mexico stuff.
Mexico.
For such a like big cliffhanger at the end of season 4, it's really not that important in this season at all, really. I mean, I think it serves Miguel's arc very well, where he like figures out like he doesn't need Hector, his blood father, you know. He might be related by blood, but like Johnny's his real dad who's been there for him, you know. But other than that, I don't really. It's just bizarre how that was such a huge thing that ended season 4, just to have it be done in 2 episodes. That, like, the first 2 episodes of this season actually, like, felt like filler episodes almost. When we got to, like, the Mexico stuff. But yeah, Gus, what were your thoughts on the Mexico stuff? You kind of said your thoughts, but just.
I kind of actually like how you say they're kind of filler episodes, because I kind of felt like, you know, with this episode kind of coming towards the end of the summer with school starting again, it kind of felt like those first 2 episodes were like special episodes, like going to Mexico, like double episode feature or something like that. Kind of felt like almost like event episodes rather than them being like full blown like helping the story out. I mean, we do kind of get a little bit of you know, showing Miguel like his father and everything, which was really cool. A little, I don't want to say rushed, but like kind of just looked over upon after those episodes happened. Like his dad seems like this cool guy, but his mom warns Miguel about him, and then we kind of see as the episode goes on like his past and everything. And I don't know, it would have been cool to kind of see him more. Maybe they even start to bond more, but I guess Miguel kind of realized there wouldn't really even be a point of telling him like, "Oh, I'm your son," because his mom was just, I guess, right. There would have been no point of looking for him anyways, because he was just such a bad guy. But I did have a really fun time with the Mexico stuff, especially the fight scenes were really cool.
Yeah. Where like Johnny and Robbie beat up those surfers. That was cool.
Yeah, I definitely called the pit pocket on Miguel too, and I was really glad Johnny figured that out.
Yeah.
He had some good one-liners there. I know the show's infamously cheesy, but he had some good jokes.
Yeah.
He had some good jokes in those characters.
Can I just say, Johnny noticing that he's getting pickpocketed, you need to have like. Don't you need to have, like, super special reflexes for that? Because, like, shit. Because, like...
I mean, he probably saw his surroundings. He's probably so used to checking his surroundings. He probably saw the one guy in the blue sweater go around him or whatever. That's what I was thinking, because I noticed that one guy pick up his backpack, Miguel's backpack before, and I'm like, they're gonna take his backpack or something. They're gonna rob him.
Yeah.
So.
I guess one thing it did serve, the Mexico plot line, it didn't really have a whole lot to do with Miguel. I think it was more about Johnny and Robbie bonding.
Definitely agree with that.
So yeah, ML, thoughts on the Mexico plot line?
Yeah, I agree. It felt like more like Robbie and Johnny bonding situation more than about Miguel. But I do like, it's about part of it's like, Miguel to find himself. If I guess like to put that part behind them so they can like move on.
Mm-hmm.
And figure out, like really, the person like the real person, he's supposed to look up to, which is like, Johnny instead of his real dad.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I do agree though, the fight, especially, you guys mentioned the surf, like the beach fight. What I really liked was that the part where like they're in like the fighting area.
Yeah.
Where Johnny and Robbie were in like the FBI shit.
Yeah, the female body inspector. That was so funny.
Yeah.
I also like the sort of clash between karate and MMA, and I heard this in like a sort of breakdown video. Robbie, by giving Johnny the that hot pepper, Robbie kind of uses the Quicksilver method. You can't see, you can't fight. So I thought that was interesting when I had that pointed out to me. So yeah, speaking of Terry Silver, I want to talk about him for a second, because like
the Silver,
the Karate Kid 3 kind of blows ass. That movie sucks, but Terry Silver is one of the high points of that movie. Even if he's a little over the top and it's about him terrorizing a teenager, like, he's still a very entertaining part of that movie, and I'll say he is the best villain. He is the best villain of this franchise. Gus, just what are your thoughts on Terry Silver in this season?
Just an absolute badass and a smartass at the same time, and he doesn't like overstay his welcome in any scene neither. So it's even though he is very over the top, he seems like when he's meant to be there, he's meant to be there, and it's always a good time. He's like I don't know why, even though a lot of people compare this villain to every other kind of villain, he does really remind me of the Joker this season. Like, he's very like diabolical and like very like he's always got a smirk on his face. Like, he's always knows his next move. I really like. I even liked him more than last season. I think he had his best moments last season. But yeah, I think he's really fun, really good time.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, the comparison to the Joker. In Karate Kid 3, there's like a moment where he laughs, and it's a pretty Joker-ish laugh, if I'm going to be honest. I don't think we'll hear it in this series, because obviously his voice has gotten deeper. But yeah, ML, thoughts on Terry Silver this season?
A complete menace, but I really love how he's written. He like from like the moment like he's first introduced last season, it's like especially with like the classical music, like the intimidating kind of like he's a very sophisticated type of villain.
Yeah.
He's smart he's like he's menacing, he's unspeakable, he's a jerk, whatever. But yeah, like I really love like he feels like a really well written villain. I like like because I really like his fight with Chosen. Because I felt like that was like one. What?
Silver's fight with Chosen?
Yes. Who else?
I don't know.
Yeah, I really.
Go on.
Yeah, I really like his fight with Chosen. So
Yeah,
That like
we'll
that
get
was like
to
the one
that.
most like.
I was also gonna say some of my favorite moments with Terry is probably that. I was gonna say probably be a big moment we talk about, and I love the scene where him and Amanda go to that one little house party or whatever, and then Terry winds up being there. I think he was
Yeah.
wound up being the owner of the house, and it
Yeah.
was just I love that scene. That whole little segment in that episode is great.
Yeah, it's like you knew where it was gonna go. It was kind of obvious that it was like, Terry's gonna fuck with Daniel and drive a wedge between him and Amanda, and then, but it's still like, it's still, what's the word? It still hits when you see it, Um, yeah. Some people say like Terry's plan to expand Cobra Kai is like a little over the top, and I guess it is when he hires literal like fucking henchmen for his senseis, and the one sensei, Kim Daun, who's like you think your American students are up to the task. Like some people took that line and say like, it's a karate tournament. Calm down. Like I've come to accept that like this show, like it makes karate seem like the fucking like the entire world. If Terry Silver's taking over karate, then he's taking over the world. Like that's what this show is basically. I've come to accept that. I don't know, what are your thoughts on the other senseis? Because like I think that was an interesting addition.
I think they all look really cool, especially to do with the eye patch.
Yeah.
I know a lot of them, didn't get screen time, but I really like was the look.
Yeah, they all looked cool.
Yeah.
Apparently, two of the senseis are actual MMA fighters. Like they're played by MMA fighters.
And one of them lost to Jake Paul.
Really?
Yes.
Wait,
It was very funny.
Wait, which one?
I don't remember his name. I think because I don't want to embarrass myself by saying the wrong name. But it was the black dude with the very bushy, firm beard, and
the guy who lost his finger.
Yes, the guy who got his fingers chopped off by Johnny.
He lost to Jake Paul.
If I am correct, I am pretty sure that man has lost to Jake Paul.
I think his name is Tyron Woodley.
Tyron Woodley, I think
Jake
it is. Yeah.
Paul versus Tyron Woodley. What the fuck? Shit, they did fight.
There was two fights, yes. Yeah. Anyways, I hope that wasn't getting off topic, but I actually wanted to know if that was him.
Yeah, so yeah, that was him.
That was him.
Yeah. I just think it's cool that they got like Tyron Woodley, and I think the other one's name is Stephen Thompson. I just think it's cool that they got them, the actual like MMA fighters, to play.
Yeah, I thought it was very cool.
Even if like they really like didn't say anything. Like I think Tyron Woodley's character had like maybe two lines.
I would have wished they had more dialogue. I agree.
Yeah,
all they did is kind of like shout and scream when they got injured.
Yeah, but pretty much, like, they're henchmen. So, like, the henchmen don't really... One thing I liked here, though, one thing I thought was interesting, the scene where Johnny and Chosen go and fight that one sensei, I found it interesting how, like, they didn't just beat the shit out of that one sensei. Like, they beat him, but, like, he held up a pretty good fight against both of them, which I thought was, interesting. Like, that scene was in the trailer, like, the start of that fight was in the trailer, so you think that Johnny and Chosen are just gonna beat the shit out of this guy. But no, it's a pretty even fight as a 2-on-1, so I thought that was interesting. But yeah, speaking of Chosen, I think Chosen's a perfect addition to this season, but I'm gonna ask you, ML, what you think of Chosen.
I think he's a badass addition, and I'm glad they brought him back because the original Karate Kid, like the original like trilogy, Karate Kid Part 2 is my favorite. So I'm really glad they brought back Jones. I really liked him in Part 2. despite even Karate Kid Part 1, even though a lot of people like that, I really like Karate Kid Part 2. So
Yeah, Part 2 is a good movie.
yeah, I get better than Part 1, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's all good.
Anywho, yeah, I really like how they brought back Chosen. I thought that was really cool to bring him back, and especially him fighting along with Johnny. Like that was also a really cool scene, and the scene where he attacks Mike Barnes.
Oh, that was so funny.
That was a funny scene. A huge misunderstanding.
Yeah, but that's also crazy. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Yeah, I think he also has a lot of funny scenes. I realized, especially his intro where he's nude in front of Amanda. So
yeah, I was not expecting that. I like how Chosen was sort of like a fish out of water, the scene where he goes into that nightclub, and he just has two size in his jacket.
That had me laughing the hardest this season. I thought that was hysterical.
Yeah,
it seems so sitcom-esque, but it just fit the show so well, especially Chosen. He would be the one to do it, have those.
I also like how Chosen was sort of like... He's sort of like the Miyagi of this season, you know? You know what I mean?
I guess I'm more balanced out Miyagi.
Yeah.
I'm more like still pretty strong, but not Miyagi strong.
Yeah. And... I just thought he was a nice addition to this season. Mike Barnes. We got Mike Barnes back. His sort of the way he was used in this season kind of, I don't even want to say disappointed me, because I was expecting something when they released a picture of Mike Barnes, but they didn't show him in any of the trailers. But it was bizarre how little they used him, because I feel like there's a good way. There are many ways they could have used him, but he's in 2 episodes. I like the episode where they reintroduce him to us. He owns a furniture store, and again where he fights Chosen. That was funny. But then he just doesn't appear until the finale. But when he does reappear in the finale, that's it. It's really cool to see Johnny, Chosen, and Barnes all team up. Those are the 3 Daniel's 3 bullies in the original trilogy, all teaming up to fight Terry Silver. So I don't know, ML, what
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. ML, what are your thoughts on Mike Barnes?
Yeah, I feel like he was underutilized because they couldn't get him something more to work with. But it seemed like when he kidnapped Daniel, Chosen, Johnny, I thought that was pretty great, and how they all went to the house drunk to invade Silver's house.
Yeah.
And I find it cool how he turned his life around. Mm-hmm. Kind of was how Chosen did.
Yeah.
And how Johnny did eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like that. It's sort of Chosen, seeing where Chosen and Mike were, is kind of it kind of further proves that Daniel and Johnny were both stuck in the past in their own ways, So I thought that was interesting. Gus, what are your thoughts on Mike Barnes this season?
I really hope they get to use him more next season. I'm not sure how, but the scenes that he was in, I actually really liked him a lot.
Yeah.
From when he gets misinterpreted in the beginning with cutting off the legs of the chairs and everything, to him owning the furniture store. I liked all the scenes he was into. When ML mentioned earlier, Chosen misinterpreting the conversation too. He was just great. And then towards the end, I thought it was a little weird how he just all of a sudden showed up. But I'm glad he kind of realized what happened to store and everything, like how it got burned down. So I hope he has like some sort of redemption next season.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's gonna do because I know he said he's kind of not against the karate, but like I mean he was helping them towards the end, helping them defeat Silver towards the end, obviously. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes from there. I did like his inclusion this season. I just wish we could have seen more of him.
Yeah, I guess I kind of understand why he wasn't in it that much, because this show already has a lot of characters. This season had a lot of fucking characters. To add another one, with Mike Barnes, where like you got like catch up on where he is and everything. Have him meet like Johnny and like maybe like Amanda and the kids and everyone. That adds a lot more to what's already going on. But still, I don't know, there's a lot we could talk about. I just want, like, I can name many things, but I want to see, ML, if there's anything in particular you want to talk about. Before we get to the finale, I want to get to that, like, I want that to be one of the last things we talk about.
I guess we could talk about Hawk. Let's talk about Hawk in this season. I feel like Hawk was he wasn't playing this season. In a way.
I've heard people complain that like he's kind of pushed on the sidelines, but to be honest, like his arc completed in season 4, so you're not gonna have that much for him to do. But I do kind of like how he was used. I liked him the way he was used. I just don't think there was much you could have done with him. I don't know. Any of you thoughts on Hawk this season?
Go ahead. I know.
You go first.
I was actually going to talk about different characters. That's why I was going to say if you want to go talk about Hawk.
Well, I guess I'll say this about Hawk. I like how he was the one who's used to fight against against I forgot, Kenny. Instead of like Robbie and Miguel. So I feel they gave him the edge to fight.
Yeah, and I like how it's like a decision between Robbie, Miguel, and Hawk. That Hawk is the one that fights. But yeah, Gus, who is it that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I was gonna say most of the older kids, the kids that have gotten older, like the older cast, most of their arcs have been complete. I was gonna say, except for like, I'd say like mostly Tori is still on her arc. Maybe we'll see something next season, and then Robbie and Miguel basically like squared things out, and I think they're mostly finished, including Samantha. But I was really disappointed we didn't see any more of LaRusso and Kenny this season. Like I really wanted to see them. Kind of maybe work things out or maybe have a fight, because I know what's it called, Anthony. Anthony started slightly getting into Miyagi-Do. I know in season 4 he paid someone to like wax on, wax off the cars and everything, but like even this season you got to see it. Sorry. But that's the only thing I really thought we'd see more of that this season, because I really enjoyed that arc. How it was kind of like a reverse of the original Karate Kid, how LaRusso was the bully, and I don't know. That was the only thing I was a little disappointed with.
I guess Kenny wasn't really like... Anthony didn't really do that much. I guess you can say he did kind of save the day in the finale, where he's like...
He redeemed himself, definitely.
Yeah, where he's like making sure the video gets uploaded. I guess, like, Kenny... I actually don't mind the way he was used. He wasn't like, at the forefront like how he kind of was last season, but like I do kind of like his slow sort of like transition into just pretty much Cobra Kai's top, like, male student, you know?
Definitely.
Like, the scene where he gets, like, the scene where he basically just tells Kyler to fuck off was... I mean, you're not rooting for Kenny to go down this path, but you are rooting for Kenny to, like,
100%.
beat the shit out of Kyler, you know? Yeah, I like that. Another character I actually wanted to talk about is Kreese. I heard that, like, you know, he wasn't in a lot of the trailers. The only bit of marketing we saw with him was at the end of one of the trailers, and I heard that the reason for that was that his arc was very emotional and had a lot of secrecy to it, I guess. That one, like, therapy session scene where, like, where he's hallucinating, where he's talking to, like, his girlfriend and his captain and to Silver, and then that fucking DH Johnny. I can't believe we saw that in the show. A DH Johnny. That's crazy. Yeah, you can kind of tell it's DH. Like, you can kind of tell it's not. It doesn't look normal. I don't know if you guys know this. This show has a very small budget. It's got a bit of a bigger budget now with Netflix behind it, but, like, they don't really have the highest budget to be, like, de-aging, like, William Zabka to, like, a fucking teenager. But still, it looked like it was really cool to see that. I do think his escape was very silly and very, like, probably one of the silliest scenes in this entire show. But again, we'll get to that when we talk about where we think it's going. But ML, thoughts on Kreese this season?
I like I guess, kind of relationship between, or I like the conversation between, was it Tori and Kreese?
Yeah.
I thought that was, pretty cool, the relationship. Like, Tori doesn't want to be part of Cobra Kai anymore, and she's going to Kreese to help. Also, how, I don't know if we should bring this up yet, but, like, how Danny and Johnny, like, they feel like they have nowhere else to go, so they have to rely on Kreese for help to take off the head of the snake. So, I thought that was, pretty cool. You have to return to an old enemy.
I like that. I also like the note that said "No mercy, motherfucker." That was
No mercy.
That was awesome. Can I just say there are some creative F-bombs here? If I'm gonna be honest, I think there were more F-bombs than like in like a TV MA14. I think.
TV14.
TV14. I feel like there are more F-bombs than a TV14 show is allowed to get away with. Like, I mean, I think, like, they're allowed to get away with 2 per season. So they're allowed that. And a lot of the F-bombs are either in Spanish, in, like, the first 2 episodes, or it was, like, stuff like "No mercy, motherfucker," like, just written down. But I can recall 3 times where, like, an F-bomb was just outright dropped, like, in English, out loud, and I didn't think they were able to get away with that. I just thought that was interesting. And this,
I remember Danny.
Yeah, Daniel said, Daniel said, like, Mike fucking Barnes, and I think in the finale, like, I think Daniel...
Mike fucking Barnes.
Yeah, I think in the finale, Daniel dropped an F-bomb, and I think Silver dropped an F-bomb. I guess since we mentioned her, like, when we're talking about Kreese, I think, what are your thoughts on Tori's arc? She had a bit of an arc this season. ML, since you're unmuted.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I really liked was her development, like slowly moving away from Cobra Kai, like slowly seeing, especially it started, I guess, in season 4, the end of season 4, where she realized, Chris, almost like Chris, Silver's bullshit.
Yeah, where you brought.
So yeah, yeah. So she's starting to see like, there's no like the dangers of Cobra Kai, and especially her relationship with the Korean sensei. I can't think of her name.
Sensei Kim.
Yeah, Sensei Kim. Her relationship, to like be like the star, but she doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
Like she's starting to see the way, and she wants to get out of that fucking place.
Mm-hmm.
So I also like the way she ended with Robbie. I thought that was kind of cool. The relationship.
Yeah.
This shop and kissed me already. That was great.
Yeah.
Also like the patch up between Sammy and Tori.
Yeah, that was like
I think that was pretty good.
seeing Sam and Tori actually like team up to fight Sensei Kim was like that was so cool. Like these two that were at each other's throat for the entire show, like fighting side by side was really cool to see.
It's parallel to Miguel and Robbie.
Yeah, bam. Gus, what are your thoughts on Tori's arc?
I think Tori's arc was actually my favorite this season. I like how she's kind of conflicted with how she feels. Like even though she probably thought she had a good fight, she knows like she lost technically, like because of Terry cheating and like bribing the ref or whatever. So I really like the even though I even liked her arc last season with Amanda and like Amanda helping her out and everything. I really like how she goes about like telling the truth to Samantha. I think in like episode 8 or later in the season about what happens, and she's kind of what starts the whole finale, and in a way, like the whole like I guess final stretch of the season. And I just had a really good time with her this season, especially her and Robbie, since Robbie's a part of Miyagi-Do now, and she's trying to get her to get out of Cobra Kai and everything. And even though she wants to, she knows it helps her at the same time.
Also,
that's really all I can say. My bad.
I really like the part where like Robbie goes into the dojo, into Cobra Kai, and says like, "I should have taken all of you with me." And then like when Silver goes like, anyone who steps foot in this dojo will get consequences, or what it says, something like that. And then everyone goes, "Yes, Sensei," and but Tori doesn't say that. Like, I don't even know if you noticed that. Like, it cut over it cut over to her. So like, I mean, you were supposed to notice it, but like, I just thought that was pretty cool. Also, that scene where they have her break like the stone, the callback to Karate Kid 3, except in that movie where Silver had Daniel break sort of like a dummy like that, but it wasn't stone, it was fucking wood. This was fucking stone. And can I just say, like, that's like stopping her from leaving, that's like straight up child abuse, isn't it? I think like at that point you realize like, okay, everyone here is like truly irredeemable. So yeah, there's a few other things we can talk about. Like I don't think we really talked about Miguel and Robbie sort of patching things up. That fight, I think the best result was for that to end in a draw, for there to not be a winner. Because, like, that's the type of... When you think back to, like, their fight in the Season 2 finale, when you think back to that, it's kind of like... Robbie won the fight, but did he really win? Like, was that considered a win for him? Because it kind of fucked up his life.
I consider it a draw. For me, I consider it a draw because...
From Season 2.
Miguel stopped... What?
From Season 2 or this one?
Season 2.
Yeah.
No, I consider it a draw because Miguel stopped fighting Bobby. He apologized, but then Bobby cheated and hit him
Yeah.
and put him into a coma.
But the scene where like they actually like talk about what was going through their heads when they had that school fight was like a long time coming, you know? Like that was something that like was, you know, fuck, I'm just lost for that. That's something that like, you know, was kind of like building up for like the whole show since then. I like how like, you know, now they're gonna become a family with like with the baby, which we'll get to. I just like how like, you know, they'll be telling stories later on, maybe to like their kids, and they see each other for like family reunions, and like, oh yeah, we used to not get along. Your uncle Robbie actually kicked me off of a railing and put me in a coma for 2 weeks. So like,
I didn't tell your kid that.
yeah.
Right.
Gus, what are your thoughts on Robbie versus Miguel? Them sort of patching things up this season.
That was actually one of the things I was looking forward to going into the season. After season 4, I was really hoping they would go look for Miguel together, Johnny and Robbie. And even though they don't patch things up immediately, I think that fight was just perfect because I think that's how the tournament would have ended if Miguel didn't mess up his back again against Hawk. It would have been Robbie versus Miguel again, and I think that kind of would have resolved things then. So this fight was kind of a long time coming, if anything, and it was really good. It was a good payoff, and I'm glad they kind of resolved things. And it really wasn't. How do I say this? It wasn't in bad. Neither of them had a bad taste afterwards. Like they both knew their flaws, and they both knew where they were in the right and where they were in the wrong, and they were able to make up. And especially, I like how that scene ended with Johnny accidentally slipping up about
I love
him having a kid. And at first, I thought that it was gonna screw up the whole thing. I thought they were just gonna fight again. Like, oh my god, he's gonna be my brother. But no, they actually were like really excited, more excited for Johnny if anything.
Yeah, I love that scene because that's like the first time you see like both Robbie and Miguel like excited about something together, you know?
Yeah, it was pretty satisfying.
Yeah. Also, I want to say like Johnny's efforts to like make Miguel and Robbie friends, I thought was really funny. Like the escape room, and then like the Olive Garden stuff, I thought were both funny. I also want to imagine like Johnny said the car ride home from Mexico was very quiet. It must have been a very fucking long car ride. And it must have been even longer if no one said anything. I just want to throw that out there. Now for the what's up?
That would just be a very sus time passing the border.
Yeah.
Just three quiet dudes in a car saying absolutely nothing.
So I could imagine like Johnny being like, so Miguel, how was Mexico? Nice for Robbie to come and join me. And then like no one's like really saying anything. I can just imagine this funny. So funny. The big thing I want to talk about. This is one of two big things that happened in this season. There's three more things in particular, unless there's anything you can think of. One of the things is the baby. I did not expect there was like, I feel like Johnny and Carmen's relationship could have gone in many different directions. I did not in a million years think they would be having a baby. Which, yeah, that now they're a family. Like now, Robbie and Miguel kind of have to get along because now they're gonna have like a half sibling. So now they're more like brothers, really. I kind of like
stepbrothers.
Stepbrothers, yeah, but like they both have like they're both gonna have a sibling that's like blood related to them, you know. So yeah, they're neither of them. Neither of them are gonna be blood related to each other, but like both of them have a sibling that's blood related to each of them. It's kind of a weird thing that I just. But yeah, just ML, since you're unmuted, thoughts on this reveal about the baby?
I thought that was like a really cool, like twist to the whole thing, because it brings Bobby and Miguel closer together, bring them closer to their family. It'd be great.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you're not done.
Yeah, so Miguel and Bobby would be stepbros. That's fucking crazy. It's funny because they started fighting, started as enemies, then became stepbros towards the end. It's crazy how that is. It's crazy.
And they'll have, by the end of the series, I think we're gonna see the baby born before the end of the series. By the end of the series, they're gonna be like a bit closer than stepbrothers, because they're both gonna have like a blood sibling. Gus, thoughts on the reveal of the baby?
So in that episode, when Johnny's kind of like baby proofing the house and looking up like how to figure out.
How did I forget to mention that?
Which is a great scene. I actually thought as soon as that ended and Carmen came to say hi and saw everything, I actually thought he was going to be like, no, I took the test. I'm not having a baby. It was just a false alarm. And that's what I thought was going to happen. But I was actually, since my expectations were like that, I was actually really happy for them when it was like confirmed, like, yeah, we're going to have a baby. And like Johnny went through this whole thing and like he actually wound up being pretty excited. While in the beginning he was just like... exactly. He was just he's like all of a sudden really excited now, even to tell Robbie and Miguel and everything. But in the beginning, he was just so nervous. Like he's like, "Oh God, what am I gonna do?" But I'm excited to see how that plot goes. I'm excited to see.
I love it
where that leads to.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I love it when like Johnny was watching like the baby tutorial, and like he's using the pack of cores as the baby. So he's wrapping a blanket around the beer, and then one of them just falls out. It's like, ah, shit. Also, like, I like how we all can be excited for this fictional couple having a baby. Like, that's just... Like, we've grown to know these characters so well that we're genuinely excited for them. I just love that. That's not a knock at all, That's just great, like... That's just great character writing, like... from the very beginning of the show, like, we're following Johnny, and we're just... Whenever something exciting happens to him, we're excited. So that's amazing. What else I think is amazing is Daniel's arc this season. I think this was Daniel's season. Because most of the other seasons kind of focus on Johnny. I kind of figured, like, once you introduce Silver, like, I don't really think that, like, that's going to be so much about Johnny, because Johnny and Silver didn't really know each other. But I like how Silver is sort of like a foil for all of them. He's a foil for Daniel, a foil for Johnny, and a foil for Chosen. But getting off topic, Daniel had a really good arc this season, where, like, for the first time he kind of quits karate. Hearing him say the lines like, "I'm done with karate," like, that's something I never thought I'd hear coming out of Daniel. So Gus, what are your thoughts on Daniel's arc this season?
I had a really good time with him. I actually find I don't know. I actually found most of the LaRusso characters to be annoying throughout the show for some reason. I don't know if it's because the show is called Cobra Kai and we focus on Johnny as the protagonist in the first few seasons. But yeah,
No, Daniel. I don't mean to interrupt you here, but Daniel at the beginning of the series was straight up the antagonist. Like,
oh yeah,
he
100%.
straight up like antagonizes Johnny. So,
But
yeah.
with this history with like Miyagi, you kind of like can't root against them at the
Yeah,
same time.
you
Like,
can't hate him, but you're kind of telling him to fuck off a little bit, you know?
exactly. No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, sorry, I cut you off there. Continue.
But he was just super. Him and Chosen like going on their little, I guess, little. I don't know how to say it. Not necessarily heist, but little like spy missions of like them in the car together, talking and looking at Silver through the window, and then eventually Chosen infiltrating the dojo. Just the first few episodes of them together is really good. It's some of the best on this I think I've seen on the show too. So Daniel is probably one of my favorite characters this season. He was just had some of the best moments this season, and he's just really grown as a character. It's crazy to see how far him and Johnny have come since basically the first movie, let alone the beginning of the series.
Mm-hmm. Something I forgot to mention about Chosen. Nothing too crazy. Just he has some of the best lines. Like it was in the trailer, but where Silver tells them like you're playing with fire, he goes, "And I am gasoline." Like that was really cool. But then in the first episode where Daniel tells Chosen like we have to be careful with this guy, he goes, "No, he has to be careful with this guy." Like, oh, Chosen's a fucking badass. Just something I wanted to mention. ML, thoughts on Daniel's arc?
Daniel's arc, huh? Yeah, I really like, how he started, out kind of as the antagonist, and then, ending up wanting the same goals as Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool, They both decide, to fight against the same thing. So, yeah.
In a way.
You're excited when I saw that. Huh?
Sorry, I didn't know you were still going. What were you saying?
Hey, I'm good. You can talk now.
Okay, in a way, when you think about it, Kreese, it's Kreese who kind of inadvertently made Daniel and Johnny actually not hate each other. I think that's interesting. I kind of just realized that.
Elaborate.
Huh?
Be that enough, and just keep talking.
But yeah, that was it. Any other characters we want to talk about before we get to the finale?
Chosen was just great this season.
Yeah.
I think Chosen.
Did you talk about Miguel?
Fantastic. Miguel was great this season too. I'm really glad they focused on him a little more this season. Kind of finished off his arc.
Yeah, they kind of finished off his thing with Sam. I actually got a little touched when he tells Sam that he loves her.
Yeah, me too. I like that shit.
It's their arc is very. I think Miguel and Sam's arc, at least as a couple, I think they're gonna be together for the rest of the series. I think their arc is done. Miguel's arc, I think for the most part, is done. Sam, I kind of think her arc is. She might have.
I think it's complete
more.
As well.
Maybe she might have a little more. Robbie's though, I think Robbie's is kind of complete. We'll get to that, but
Do you think the same with Tori and Bobby? Same
Tori's
with Miguel
barely
and
there.
Sam.
yeah, Tori. There could still be some stuff for her. She technically hasn't really joined Miyagi-Do yet, so there's still that for her. But I kind of did just say Robbie is kind of done. But I mean, there could always be more stuff for them. All right, now for the finale. Holy shit! I think this finale dethroned the school fight. Cause you have
just from the title sequence alone, but
the head of the snake. Oh, you said title sequence. I thought you just meant the title of the show.
Oh, the title of the episode was great, but like just the first like 2 minutes of that episode.
You thought Kreese was dead. You thought they fucking killed off a character.
I was, because going into this, I think I knew about the new season maybe a week before, and I was like, I wonder if Cobra Kai would have they're starting to get a lot of characters. I wonder if Cobra Kai would have the balls to just maybe kill off like one of the senseis, maybe Chosen, maybe Kreese, maybe even Silver. And I thought they literally shanked Kreese to death in prison.
Yeah,
like I thought he was done.
I like one of the creators of the show kind of teased that a character would die. So I was trying to think. I think that'll happen, but who will it be? And I thought Kreese or Chosen is gonna die. And in a way, I was kind of right, except not the part where they die. Like, I think that was sort of like misdirect when one of the creators teased that. It was sort of misdirect to make you think like, oh, this character's dead. But it was the two characters I thought, so I just, But,
they did the same thing with Miguel, actually, and was it?
Yeah.
I think they did the same thing with like Miguel. They said, oh, like he hasn't gotten up like in a week, so he's probably gonna die. That's what they kind of like made you believe or wanted you to believe. But
no, but I mean like the creators literally like made a tweet and teased that maybe a character is gonna die, so that's a little different. But yeah, similar. Like Miguel's fate by the end of season 2 was very uncertain. But yeah, like at the fucking title sequence, you thought Kreese was fucking dead. It's like, holy shit. Then we get to the dojo fight. And by the way, this finale had 3 fights going on at once, basically. You had the fight at the dojo. You have Johnny fighting all the senseis. And you have Chosen and Silver in a fucking sword fight. We got a sword fight in this show.
It was... words can't describe how hyped I was when they started. Like, when it was in that little room at first, I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome. But then it just moved into that pool area. It was so blue and purple. It was foggy. I was like, okay, this is on some Street Fighter level, Mortal Kombat level stage. Like, this is, oh my gosh, they're really going for it. And, yeah, it was absolutely insane.
Yeah, and then, it was just so entertaining, and, it was really cool to see, like, the Miyagi fangs, I guess we can call them. It was really cool to see, like, Miguel, Robbie, Sam, Tori, Hawk, Dimitri, Anthony, all teaming up. And then you get some of, like, the other, like, cannon fodder characters, like, you get, what's his name, Bert, and, you get them, and then they had penis breath,
what's his real name?
I think his real name was Mitch. There's actually a deleted scene.
That's not a better name.
There's a deleted scene from season 4 where like where Johnny like finds out that his real name is Mitch, and it's pretty funny. But he defects to Cobra Kai, which it seemed that he only wanted to go to Cobra Kai because it had more girls, but yeah, whatever.
Sam.
And there's just a lot of satisfying shit going on in this finale. Like, Kyler kind of gets his comeuppance, like where he fights Hawk, and then Dimitri beats the shit out of him. Like, so that was satisfying because like Kyler's just been a bully since season 1, So, yeah, and then. Okay. If you say that you did not think Chosen was dead, you're fucking lying to me. ML, like, we talked about this off camera. You thought Chosen was dead, right?
No, I thought he was going to die.
Like, when he sliced his...
I thought he died on the spot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he was over.
Like, I'm like, holy shit, like we didn't know, like, Kreese was alive, so, like, I'm like, holy shit, they killed off 2 characters. It was the 2 characters I thought they would kill off. But, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how Chosen...
You are dropping friend.
I am? Oh, well, not to sound like...
You're fine now, you're
okay.
good.
Not to sound like a dick, but, like, I'm not dropping frames on my own end, so, for the viewers it should be good. But, I don't know how Chosen actually survived that. Like, they kind of zoomed in on that flesh wound. Like, that was a pretty big flesh wound.
I'm convinced because of the party before they went to, when all the senseis went out because of Johnny, they were celebrating for Johnny. He drank so much he didn't feel anything. And so that's what I'm convinced that's how he survived.
Yeah. I want to talk about that, the part where Johnny, like, beats up all the senseis. Like, before that, I was actually thinking, like, is Johnny about to die? Like, I didn't think he was gonna die, but it got me thinking, like, I don't see how Johnny gets out of this. But then he fucking single-handedly destroys every single fucking sensei. He throws, like, he throws Tyrone Woodley onto the ground, and then one of the other guys takes a sword, misses, and cuts his fucking finger off. It's like, holy shit! And then Johnny kicks another one of the senseis into, like, the TV, and the TV falls on his face. Which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but the TV falling is, like, a running gag in this, in this show, and I fucking love it. It happens once a season. But yeah, I haven't asked any of you guys what you guys thought of this finale. I'm like, some of you talked about Kreese's fake out death and Chosen's fake out death and Chosen's fight with Silver, but like, what are your thoughts on the other stuff, like the dojo fight and the Johnny versus the senseis? ML, what are your thoughts on those?
Well, on the dojo fight, I was kind of annoyed at a character like Devin because, like, I thought she would know better, but apparently not. I guess too much faith. Kind of like don't like, you know, how she was working for Cobra Kai this season. But again, she didn't know better, I guess. So yeah, I really like how it was different from, like, you know, last dojo fight where Sam lost and Hawk won, but this time Sam won. Sam was victorious, and Hawk lost.
Yeah.
Hawk lost to Kenny, right?
Yeah. Wasn't really talking about that, but like.
Yeah. You said dojo fight.
Yeah,
so.
I was talking about the finale, like the dojo brawl.
Oh. Okay.
I kind of. Yeah, we didn't really mention that. I guess since I guess I can kind of mention that later with where the show is going. What were your thoughts on the Johnny versus the senseis and the dojo brawl in the finale? ML.
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay, so. Yeah, I really like how Johnny had like that split. I think it's called like a blood, like adrenaline rush right there.
Yeah.
At the moment. It was like that was an incredible adrenaline rush. We was like, you know, fuck you guys. He just takes out everyone in the room. Kicks that one sensei in the ball, like right in the balls. Like Jesus, like no mercy, bitch. Jesus.
Yeah. I still think like the craziest part of that was one of them getting their fucking fingers cut off. Like,
that's like the most violence we've ever seen in the show.
Yeah, by far. Like, holy shit. I can't believe like they actually put that in this show. Like, and by the way, like, going back to Johnny and Chosen fighting that one sensei made an even match in the 2-on-1. Yet Johnny was able to destroy all, like, what, 10 senseis? What
He wasn't bullshitting me, so I could take all of them right now.
Yeah.
Remember I said that?
Yeah. So like I think that puts Johnny very high up the tier list, you know, I guess, of like how good of fighters everyone is. Gus, thoughts on the finale fights?
I thought they were all pretty good. I thought the final one in the dojo was pretty cool. I thought there was a lot to focus on at once though, but I think just that sword fight steals the cake. Absolutely. Just only thing I'd say I'm disappointed with is the fact that they don't necessarily kill off Kreese. I think it would have been a satisfying ending to his character, and it would have left off with like I really like how they left towards the end of the season, like unanswered. Like, hey, did you hear what happened to John Kreese? And then it just shows him escaping. But I would have liked to like hear the reaction to like him dying and everything. It would have been a very interesting way to end the series, end the season. I mean,
Yeah, because like John Kreese, all about like fighting and shit and no mercy, dies when he tries stopping a fight. That would have been interesting. But I mean, then again, him dying in like the fucking opening scene of an episode is, I don't know. I don't think would have been the best way for him to go out. But that's not it for this episode. It's not the last fight. You have the Cobra Kai or Silver getting exposed, and all of his students like they don't want to be Cobra Kai anymore. And Daniel beats the shit out of Silver. Uses the Quicksilver method on him and crane kicks Silver into the Cobra Kai glass, and it shatters, and then all of the Cobra Kai students quit and throw their Cobra Kai merch on Silver. I loved that scene. You know, it was just so satisfying. And yeah, like thoughts on that Gus. Gus.
yeah, it was super crazy. I didn't even realize it was a glass panel. I thought it was like something on the wall when it first happened. So when he gets kicked into it, it was insane.
Yeah, and ML, thoughts on that final fight between Daniel and Silver?
I thought it was a very satisfying end to Silver. Like saying, like basically saying, like fuck you, your reign, all your followers, like you're done.
Yeah.
Cause like they really took down the head.
Mm-hmm.
They really got this one. So yeah, about time he deserved. It was really satisfying to see like him, with the glass cobra just fall on him.
Yeah.
And you know the crane kick, the move that finished it all off, to finish him off.
Yeah, I think that was the first time we saw Daniel do the crane kick in this season. Aside from flashbacks, of course. But
Oh really?
yeah, like I think that was something
I knew Miguel.
Yeah, Miguel did it, and
Yeah.
I think one time like Johnny sort of like was playing around and was pretending to do it, but like that was something like I guess they saved and they built up for like a big moment. And now that closes out season 5 pretty much. Now, before we wrap this up, I want to talk about where we think this is going. Because I don't know what to think. I think this show will end with the Saikai Taikai tournament. You know, the global tournament. Because, like, you know, I feel like having the show end on another All Valley tournament would kind of be like, alright, this is the third one. It's kind of like, what's so special about this one? The last one felt very special, very different. How do you beat that? Then with a global tournament, you know? So, yeah, a global. I think the Saikai Taikai tournament is what's going to be the end of the series. The only thing is like, it's weird. I can't tell if like there's only room for one more season or if there's room for more seasons. Cause like, I don't think Silver's getting arrested. I'm gonna actually ask you guys, ML, do you think Silver is staying arrested? Do you think he is out of the show?
I have no idea. I was on you to answer that because I have no fucking clue on that one. I'm
Gus,
like dumbfounded when like.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, I was saying like I have like no idea.
Yeah.
So.
Gus, do you think Silver's been written out of the series or not? Gus?
My bad.
Oh, Goose.
Yeah.
Do you think Terry Silver has been written out of the series by getting arrested?
I hope. I see. I feel like Kreese has nowhere else to go, but I feel like I want them to write something for him because I just don't want him to escape and he's just gone. But I genuinely, besides the tournament that you brought up, I genuinely don't know what they're going to do with the next, and I think what will be the final season. I'm excited to see what they do, though, but I have no clue what they'll do with Kreese, or if that was just the way of writing him out of the show. I think just killing him off would have been, even though it would have been the darkest way, it would have honestly been the best way.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Now, the only thing is, I just can't see them going back to Kreese being the main villain. I just can't see that. But like, what could Kreese do? I just don't know. So what I was thinking, Silver's rich. He is like filthy rich. He can probably afford some crazy lawyers that will get him out of prison. I think somewhere Kreese and Silver, I think they would actually be crazy to not do a fight between Kreese and Silver. So I do think that could be what we're building towards. I think they're going to have a fight, and I think they're going to have a fight to the death. One of them's going to die in this fight. And, like, if you go that route, I can see 2 more seasons. I can see, like, there's going to be at least 1 more. Because the writers, they said they had an idea for 6 seasons, which would mean that this is the penultimate season. Like, I just don't know where. I really don't know. I've heard a theory that says maybe Kreese can, since he's now a fugitive, you know, he escaped prison. Maybe he goes to South Korea, where like where Cobra Kai was first invented. Basically, he goes to South Korea and starts his own dojo there. And as for the Cobra Kai name, because the show is called Cobra Kai, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel and Johnny take that name and try to make it, you know, try to give it a better name. Especially since, you know, and maybe there'll be some sort of legal battle between Daniel and Terry, but maybe Daniel owns will win the rights to Cobra Kai, because remember, Silver owns Cobra Kai, so, I don't know. Any final thoughts on where you think this series is going, ML?
Honestly, I have no idea where it's going. Like, if like, you know, Silver's arrested, Kreese is in. I mean, I like your theory. That makes a lot of sense. Kreese and Silver both fight to death, and you know, I would love to see that. That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, if not to the death, at the very least, they're gonna fight. I think. Did I cut you off there?
Took a very bad injury.
Yeah. Did I cut you off there, ML?
No, you're good.
Okay. Gus, final thoughts on where you think this series is going?
I'm honestly in the same boat. I really couldn't tell you, and I don't know whether to be nervous or excited about it, because they can either do something really big, like this tournament, or something like fighting to the death, like you were saying, or something completely different. Nothing we can imagine. But I really just want to see what they do with Kreese in general. That's what I'm mostly curious about for the following season.
Yeah, especially since they left it off on a massive cliffhanger, and I don't know when we're getting season 6, because the writers, like, the reason why this came out so soon after season 4 is because this wrapped shooting like before season 4 even dropped. The writers, the creators of the show tweeted that they don't even have, like, season 6 isn't even written yet. On top of that, like, yeah, they have some ideas, but they're also working on another show for Netflix. I think it's called Obliterated, and you know what? For what I read up on it, sounds just interesting. I might want to watch it just because it's these guys, John, Josh, and Hayden. They do the show very well. I also think they were attached to that Duke Nukem movie. Remember that announcement where Duke Nukem was getting a movie and was being played by John Cena? Apparently the creators of Cobra Kai were attached to this project. I don't know where the Duke Nukem movie's going, but they have said in interviews though that that Cobra Kai is their main priority, and like they will try to get to that as soon as possible. But anything else before we wrap it up? We've been going for an hour and 17 minutes. Goddamn. Anything else before we wrap up, Gus?
Very good season. Very, very good season.
Yes. I guess great season. Definitely some issues, some focus problems, but man, it further proved why I love this show. And any season that does that is a great season to me. ML, final thoughts before we wrap up? I guess not.
He disappeared.
Okay, he's back. ML.
My bad.
Did you mean to unmute and then you accidentally
yes, I actually hit the uncall button. My bad. Great season, great fucking season. Like, probably one of the best endings, along with ending of season 2, probably, in my book.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yep.
Alright. I think that'll do it. Big episode here. Thanks if you stuck around for the whole thing. Thanks. Gus, where can people follow you online, not in real life?
Please don't follow me. You see that username popping up right now? Yeah, man. I hope it's dropping up. Probably not.
I will probably forget.
But go follow it on Instagram and YouTube. Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Okay. ML, where can people find you on anything you want to plug?
Where can people find me in real life? You can find me in the clouds of sound, Megara. And you can find me on Instagram called Megara. Yeah, and the sound of clouds.
Alright. That'll do it for this episode. Thanks for listening. If you're on YouTube, go over to SoundCloud, DPX Talks for about an hour. Go follow me. If you're on SoundCloud, go over to YouTube, youtube.com/DPX Solo. Go subscribe. I love this show. We all love this show. I was thinking of doing some more Cobra Kai content, but I don't know if I'll do it. Thanks for watching.
Character tier list.
I might do that on like my second channel or something.
Oh yeah.
thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll be back later this month with a normal episode where I talk about gaming, movie, TV news. But yeah, bye guys.
See you.
Bye.